You are looking at Wayne Steffenhagen Field at Howard Steam Stadium. I'm Chris Conley, and the Evergreens are on the air. Week 3 of the high school football season finally brings us to the home opener as the Evergreens are getting ready to play Appleton West. Game's going to kick off about 12 minutes from now. We are all weathermen today as we're keeping an eye on whether or not we'll have any rain or thunderstorms in the later parts of the evening. There are some games around central Wisconsin that have gotten underway at 6 o'clock instead of 7, trying to beat whatever weather may be coming in. You know what? I mean, I'm an amateur at all of this, but I'm thinking whatever weather we get, it's going to hold off into the later parts of the evening, and I think we're going to be okay for getting our Week 3 game in. Both teams arrive with 1-1 records. Like to introduce a new broadcast partner. Evergreens fans, welcome in former high school football star at Wausau East, Tony Hollander, who carved up defenses like water through a colander, and a high school football official, so we'll get the view from underneath the white hat and the quarterback's view. Tony, welcome. Good to have you along for today's broadcast.
Thanks, Chris. Looking forward to the broadcast. Obviously been behind the scenes for the first 2 games. Joining you on air here tonight. So.
Now, you've seen the Evergreens in weeks 1 and 2. Last week's game essentially turned on a mental error instead of a physical error. The Evergreens were going to get the ball back for a final possession, chance to tie that game against Chippewa Falls, and couldn't get on top of a pooch kick. It was a mental mistake.
It was a mental mistake, and you feel for the kids at that point in time because you know that they're out there giving it their all, and to see that mental mistake right at that point in the game, it was costly. And to your point, they didn't get the ball back.
Because otherwise, the Evergreens get the ball back trailing by a touchdown with 3.5 minutes left. You know from your playing days, that's the scenario that every football player dreams of. A final possession, clock running down, chance to tie or win the game. And the Evergreens didn't get a chance to possess the ball.
Correct. I mean, as a football player, you look forward to those opportunities, those last-second drives. And I really felt that the Evergreens, the way that they capped off the first half and the way that things were going in the second half, they had the momentum going into that last drive, and then the mental error happened.
Talk to me a little about how resilient kids are. When you were playing football, there were some losses that were tough, and yet I think that most teenagers, 17, 18-year-olds, they're a resilient bunch that you kind of shake it off and go through the week. Do you think that last week lingers into this week, or it really is? I mean, it's the home opener. You turn the page, and what happened last week certainly can't be undone tonight. You got to focus on the game in front of you.
Correct. And, you got to give credit to a lot of the coaching staff as well, because they're the ones that get these kids ready week in and week out. And, yeah, they'll talk about that the next night when they're watching the film and talk about, not being able to have those mental mistakes. But overall, they're there saying, okay, that play is done. It's over with. We're now on to something else. Next week, we go 1-0. And that's what they really focus on. They will focus on the 1-0 week. They don't worry about the previous record.
In fact, 1-0 is one of the things you hear a lot about around the Everest football program. And just before we did our on-the-field interview with Coach Tim Strelo, he huddles up with his team in the end zone, and he's got to talk to them after a really tough loss. And I remember hearing him before he came over to our Zaleski Sports microphones. He says, we got to turn the page quickly from this one because, the loss last week doesn't hurt you as much as having it carry over today. This is a conference game. This is the game that begins determining where you are in the standings. A win here in Week 3 is more important than what happened in Week 2.
Correct. Conference is a whole beast itself. I mean, you want the bragging rights within the conference. Not saying that non-conference games don't have a meaning to them, because in the WIAA, every game has a meaning to them. And to these kids, every game has a meaning to them. So, but Coach is right. You got to get past what you did last week. Forget about it as best as possible. Think about it right away, but then let it go.
Let's talk for a moment about tonight's opponent, Appleton West. The Terrors lost to the Evergreens while they were playing at home last year, and that was kind of a weird game. Evergreens had their starting quarterback, Bo Spoke, injured in the second quarter in that game. Spoke was a scrambling type of quarterback all season. He says that he injured himself when he was planting his foot and trying to reverse field. But on the play when he was hurt, he also absorbed a late hit out of bounds. He missed the next couple of games. So the game against Appleton West a year ago was when we got our first look for extended playing time for Jack Bobinski, this year's starter. And Bobinski rallied the team in the second half and got that game into the win column, again under difficult circumstances with the Evergreen starting quarterback on the bench. Now back then, Appleton West had a lot of juniors. I mean, it was a young team, and you just kind of sensed that they were a year away from playing their best football. And into today's game, they start their junior quarterback over their senior quarterback. We saw Matthew Vanderputten a year ago. He's a senior now, and he's not the starter. It's junior Ryder Hoffman, who took all of the warm-ups, who started last week and will play again today. And the Terror come in off kind of a stinker of a loss last week. They're playing a rivalry game against Appleton East, and they were blown out 40-14. I would have thought that the Terror would be more competitive in that game if they were ready to take a step forward. Maybe they haven't. I think for the Evergreens, tonight's opponent, and no disrespect to Appleton West, but is probably a step down in the level of competition compared to what we saw against Chippewa Falls a week ago. The home opener is always special here at Steam Stadium. We'll play in front of a big crowd to start off the Labor Day weekend. The pep band's about to give us our national anthem. Dance team will perform at halftime. The best student section in the state, the DC Everest Forest, is dressed as neon trees today, and it's a great Friday night environment to kick off the Labor Day weekend. The Appleton West Terrors will possess the ball first. The Evergreens will be kicking off to them. And again, we're hoping that the rain holds off till after our game is done. And I think the weatherman's going to cooperate with us today. Let's head down to field level. The DC Everest Pep Band, our student musicians, will give us the national anthem. Singing today, Elena Klybon with the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets
All right, we clicked our heels 3 times, and we've got the home opener for DC Everest football against the Appleton West Terrors. We'll kick off after these messages. This is Everest football on Zaleski Sports.
Grassland Dairy Products is your match for an exciting new career today. Go to grassland.com to see the opportunities waiting for you. Browse through careers like CDL truck driver, shipping and receiving, line tech, quality assurance, forklift, maintenance tech, inventory associates, and more. Great compensation, weekly pay, and zero premium, company-paid health, dental, and life. Apply now at grassland.com or in person at Grassland Dairy Products, Fairground Avenue, just south of Greenwood.
Chris Conley and Tony Hollander as we get ready for DC Everest football against Appleton West. Tony, home field advantage means at least a little something. It doesn't make a bad team suddenly good, but there is a certain energy when you finally get a big crowd and get to play in front of them at your home field.
home crowds are wonderful to have, especially with the student section. You hear those students cheering for you loud and proud. You hear your parents, your extended family, everything out there. It's wonderful.
You know what's different? We've got the students here, and the student section is larger than it would otherwise be because the school year started early. DC Everest went back in on August 30th, so it's not like, well, we're up north or we're out of town because school's going to start after the Labor Day weekend. Student section is full. It's a big crowd here. It was humid earlier today, got to a high of 89. It's 84 as we get ready for kickoff here. Just a little bit of a light wind, and as long as the thunder showers hold off until later, and I think we've got a favorable forecast for that, I think the weather's not going to be a factor.
Let's hope not, because it's going to be a beautiful night otherwise.
Evergreen's suit up many more players than Appleton West. West's numbers look like they're down from a year ago, and, on a humid night, not being able to rotate in as many players, that could be a factor later in the game. Ball's on the tee, ready for the kickoff. Week 3, let's light this candle. Evergreen and Terror's underway. That goes over the head of the return man and into the end zone. Ezra Brown, who's got speed to burn, misjudged that, had to go right over his head, so 20-yard line, 1st and 10.
So let's see if the defense can stand up to what they did last week. They looked really promising against Chippewa Falls in that first half.
For those with good memories, the Everest defense had 3 3-and-outs in a row at the end of the first and into the second quarter, and kind of broke down a little bit against a tougher opponent in the later stages of the second half. Yeah, Tony, let's take a look at the line play on the first couple of plays from scrimmage. Again, the Evergreens are big up front. I think they're going to be bigger than the Terror, who would like to throw the football downfield. 3-receiver package, twins down low, 1 up high. Let's see what kind of pressure the Evergreens can get on quarterback Ryder Huffman, who works from the pistol. Put that man in the slot, so now there are twins on either side. Start with a handoff. Yeah, Tony, Evergreen's won at the line of scrimmage right on the first play of the game.
Gotta like it when you come in and you go for a loss right on that first play. That sets a tone big time.
Yeah, right off the snap. If you're watching on our Zaleski Sports cameras, you saw the Evergreens pushed forward on defense as the ball was snapped. So the Terror are now behind the chains, 3 receivers to the near, and that's the wide side of the field, and there's 1 up high. Kind of forced into a passing spot. Let's see what the pass rush looks like. Quick pass underneath. Evergreens snuff that out. It's a gain of 7, bringing up. Well, it gets back the loss in a little bit. Here comes 3rd and 6. Since you play defense in part with emotion, what a great way to start 3 and out. Terror right up to the line of scrimmage. Got another play called. They'll keep it on the ground. Didn't get it.
They tried going with that option, give it to them, and DC Everest was right there. So pivotal 4th down.
Yeah, I get you've got another play called. So you're trying to catch the defense off guard. The defense can't really align when you're right up to the line of scrimmage again. But Appleton West has a negative play, a short pass, and then a short run. They're not in punt formation here on 4th and 3. Let's see if they shift at the last minute. Going for it on 4th down, deep in their own end. Quarterback steps up. That doesn't work.
We do have a flag on the play, though.
In the spot where it may be holding, but let's give the officiating crew a chance to sort this out. If that's the case, it's a 4 and out, and, yeah, looking over to the Everest sideline, this is a hold that the Evergreens will decline. It's so early in the game to take that chance, and here you are, you give up the shortest of fields to a team that's going to be a pretty high-powered offense tonight.
Well, and that short field really is going to play into the psyche now. Everest has every opportunity. Every play in the playbook is wide open at this point.
Here comes Jack Babinski, and he starts in the red zone. Let's welcome in the audience that's joining us on the Zaleski Sports Red Zone channel. I'm Chris Conley along with Tony Hollander. Handoff here to Caden Bangstrom, who's got 3 yards on 1st down. Again, if you are just joining us in red zone coverage, the Terror go 4 and out. Weren't in punt formation, went for it on 4th and 4, and were thrown for a loss. So that's how the Evergreens get this ball deep in their own end. Singles to either side. Bangston brothers behind Bobinski.
Great push and run.
Yeah, boy, the carry there from Blake Bangston, the sophomore. Again, you look at the lower body, he kept those legs churning even after initial contact, and that's why he got us to 1st and goal, down to the 5-yard line. Again, the Evergreens trying to capitalize on the shortest of fields after Appleton West turned the ball over on 4th down. Handoff, power football, Blake to the end zone. Touchdown, Evergreens!
Couldn't start any better for the Evergreens.
Yeah, and the going for it on 4th down. Boy, you immediately regret that decision. The Evergreens, who did not taste the lead at all in week 2, will play from in front tonight. Blake Bangston, 4-yard touchdown run. Extra point try from Gabe Golbach. Line drive through 7-0. 9:27 to play in the first quarter. We're back after these messages. You're listening to DC Everest football on Zaleski Sports.
Thank you for helping Abbey Bank become the most highly recommended community bank.
Thank you to all of our customers for helping us be successful.
Thank you for putting your trust in us.
Thank you for your loyalty.
Thank you for helping us support our communities.
We are grateful for customers like you.
Thank you to all of our customers. We hope to see you soon.
Back.
So a 4 and out for Appleton West, and 3 plays later, the Evergreens have covered the 18 yards and got themselves into the end zone. Blake Bangston from 4 yards out gives the Evergreens a 7-0 lead, and we're super early first quarter. West to get the ball back. From the goal line, Ezra Brown, he's the fastest player on the team, waits for his blocking, gets across the 25 out to the 27-yard line.
We'll see if West comes out with the same game plan of trying to get that ball and that first down.
I would think, though, on this part of the field, if they get to 4th down again, they're kicking. I mean, the only explanation that I can think of, look, they played a crosstown rival last week. They didn't look good. They got blown out by Appleton East. That was a 40-14 game. So, I mean, you're trying to make something happen, but, I mean, sometimes you're just trying to force that, that square peg into the round hole, which is what 4th down felt like. It didn't work out. Ryder Huffman again, pistol. 5 receiver package. Let's see if the Evergreens send pressure here. Somebody's going to be unblocked coming towards the quarterback. Quarterback will keep it. There's contact behind the line of scrimmage. He didn't get back to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, when you go with the 5 receiver package, you're giving up something, and what you're giving up is protection for your quarterback there.
The good thing that you saw with the Evergreens there is that they got penetration right away. They got back there and disrupted that play right off the bat.
They'll say that the quarterback got back to the line of scrimmage. Initial contact was behind the line. Here comes 2nd and 10. 5 offensive plays, and the Terrors offense has 6 yards. 2 receivers up high, on the ground, contact in the backfield. Evergreens win the line of scrimmage again.
We talked about it, the home field advantage right there. They're feeling it in front of their home crowd. They've had their first 2 games on the road. They want to give this crowd a show.
Ben Valesky, who was the leading rusher in the loss to Appleton East, goes backwards 5 yards. Boy, this is the spot that you got to avoid. This is 3rd and far beyond the chains. Need to get the ball all the way out to the 38-yard line. Trips up high. The Evergreens like to blitz in this spot. Protection, wow, that's a hold that's not called. And the quarterback is going to run, and there is the late flag. I saw it. I mean, it was an open field on the near side, on the quarterback's blind side. Runner is out of bounds at the 31, so it's 4th and long. I think the Evergreens are going to refuse the penalty. Well, let's see. I mean, this is a hold in the backfield. You could really push Appleton West back. You'd make them replay third down, though. White hat looking over to the DC Everest sideline and explaining the options here. So it will either be 4th and 7 or 3rd and long, and the Evergreens decline this on the thinking that Appleton West is not going to go again on 4th down, that they're going to kick this ball away.
No, they've already got the punter out there, Chris.
Yeah, that's Jared Marvin to kick away. Matt Nielsen, speed to burn, waits at his own 35-yard line. Evergreens could get good field position for a second possession. Snap's good. Good protection. Tumbling end-over-end kick. Fielded in front of the 35, 40, 45. The Evergreens are going to start in terror territory. 7:51 to play, first quarter.
Not bad for two possessions, both starting in the opponent's territory.
Boy, field position really does matter, and the Evergreens not quite as short a field as before, but they'll start at the 47. Week 3, high school football, DC Everest Appleton West, brought to you by Ag Country Farm Credit Services, a farmer-owned cooperative offering a wide array of custom financing and financial services, loans, leases, crop insurance, tax and records. They have you covered. Ag Country in Stevens Point. Contact Ag Country to get started. Appleton West is going to give up 5 yards. Tony, I think they had too many men in the huddle. I think they huddled up 12 instead of 11. Ball moves to the 43-yard line. Still play this as 1st and 10. Singles to either side. Everything from the Evergreens been on the ground so far. Second effort and a little hop step forward got Caden Bangston 3-4 yards over the right side.
And there's no reason to put it up in the air when you're getting 4 yards every single time you're touching the ball. You get 4, that's 12 for the first 3 touches. You got a first down every time.
Yeah, we've talked about that. The Evergreens, one of the points of emphasis for their offense, be productive on first down. So 2nd and 6, 2nd and 5, this is the sweet spot for the Evergreens. New runner handles the ball here, spinning forward. This will depend on the spot. I think this is going to be a first down for the Evergreens. It's Vinny Tesh. Needed 6, give him 7, move the chains.
And we are working on the clock for those watching, so we have about 6:56 left to go.
Well, here's the first time that the Appleton West defense has stepped forward. Appleton West won the battle on the right-hand side of the line. Bangston absorbed contact as soon as he handled the ball. No gain. See if that's something for the West defense to build on. And, you know, on a hot, humid night, the West defense has already been out there for the majority of the first quarter. Wears you down if the temperatures are going to be humid. Tesh on the delayed handoff. Second man through, follows his blocking. This is yardage between the tackles.
Good misdirection there, too.
6 yards. Right, the offense swarmed to the lead runner there, and it was Tesh, second man through, who carried. Spot him a little further back than I had him. Down to the 28-yard line, this is 3rd and 5. And probably 2 plays to pick up these 5 yards as the Evergreens too long for a field goal, too short to punt. 4 down territory from the pistol. Yeah, man left early there. This is going backwards against the Evergreens. I believe the receiver down low departed early. Yeah. First real mistake of the night. The Evergreens in past years have been penalized a lot against DC Everest so far. And again, 2 games and a little bit of a quarter don't make a season, but penalties have been way down. First time where the Evergreens probably are in a throwing situation. Straight drop, good protection to one-on-one coverage, got a step and overthrew Flynn Huffman. I don't know, Tony. Huffman had a little bit of separation. Looked like we needed a better throw there to drop that one in. Close. Almost.
Almost. Yeah. I mean, but you don't want to throw it too short where the defense has the opportunity. He threw it where it was going to either be a touchdown or it was going to be an incomplete. Unfortunately for the Evergreens, it went incomplete.
Evergreens will go on 4th down. Why not? Defense has been solid. A bunch of 3 receivers to the near side, 1 up high. Huffman's in the mix in that package of 3. Good protection again. Bobinski now flushed out. Bobinski runs forward, gets 6 yards. He is 4 short. The ball goes over on downs to Appleton West. I didn't see for sure, but it looked like West dropped an extra player into coverage there, and Bobinski couldn't find anything that he liked downfield.
Definitely dropped more, knowing that it was a passing situation on that down.
At 5:15 to play in the first quarter. And I mean, everything has been in the west half of the field. 7-0 Evergreens. Turn the ball over without getting into the red zone. Long count, quarterback's got it. Play action and complete, out of bounds with a gain of 8 yards. First time that something sort of positive happened there for Appleton West. That's Matthew Vanderputten, who made the reception, last year's quarterback, who now plays some tight end and some defensive back. From the pistol. 3, now 4 to the near wide side. Let's see if the Evergreens defensive line gets home here with the extra receiver in. Thrown out to the flat behind the line of scrimmage. That's a live ball. No, they're going to say forward pass. Forward pass, even though it's behind the line of scrimmage. Incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you what, the way that the Everest coaching staff was going, they really had the line judge over on the Everest side here questioning whether or not it was a forward pass at first.
Right. Even though it's behind the line of scrimmage, let's go to the State Farm you make the call moment here in the ball game, that even though you're behind the line of scrimmage, if the pass goes forward, it's incomplete. If that's a lateral or goes backwards, live ball. And you know what? If you're playing defense, get on top of it anyway and let the officials sort it out afterwards.
Correct. Until you hear those whistles, you want to keep going to that ball.
3rd and 2, and West needs a 3rd down conversion like the desert needs rain. They take a one-on-one shot. You know, the Evergreens a lot of times on defense put their defensive backs on that island one-on-one. Took a shot downfield, pass is too long and incomplete.
That was the right play there. They had isolation up on top, and the quarterback set it up just out of reach for the receiver.
Right, I mean, you know from your quarterbacking days, one of the things you try and identify at the line of scrimmage, where's the one-on-one matchup? And the quarterback found the right matchup, just couldn't get the throw, couldn't make the completion. 4th down, they're going for it again. No, the Evergreens weren't sure if Appleton West was going to go for this on 4th down. The Evergreens will take a defensive timeout. 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Evergreens up 7-0. And back in their own end, West appears to be going for it on 4th and short. We'll see how that works out after this commercial break. This is Zaleski Sports, DC Everest, Appleton West.
Winter's coming fast, which means it's time to hit the trails. Bill Service Center has all things you need to stay warm and dry on the trails this winter. With a full selection of jackets, bibs, helmets, boots, casual wear. And don't forget that Bill's is your chainsaw safety gear headquarters. Bill Service Center is your one-stop connection for all your cold weather riding gear.
Don't freeze your jingle bells off. Get your cold weather riding gear at Bill's Service Center. Bill's Service Center, where the adventure begins.
I don't know about this, Tony. Appleton West is only down 7-0. If I'm coaching the other team, and obviously I'm not, I'm just yanking on the microphone here, I'd kick this ball away. Your defense still has a chance to make a stand in a one-score game. Instead, the Terrors will go for it on 4th and 2. Pressure, blitz, and it blows up in their face again. Nate Nimitz, senior on the blitz, comes forward. Met at the quarterback along with Miles Paulson, who's had a monster season. Not only do they not punt it away, but I mean that sack pushed the ball back another 12 yards, and the Evergreens start at the 25-yard line. in a one-score game. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Short field again for the Evergreens. And again, everything's been on this side of the 50-yard line. Trying the left side. It's productive on first down. It's a gain of 4 yards. It's what the Evergreens are looking for. 4 or 5 on first down opens up the whole playbook. Blake Bankston carrying there. Feels like the Evergreens should be up by more than the 7-0. The boys are trying to do something about it right now. This is Caden Bankston. Well, bounces off the pile at the line of scrimmage and chugs forward for 5 yards, 3rd and short. If you can still hear us, and if we've lost our video feed, stick with us. I'll describe what's happening. 3rd and 1. Evergreens are up to the line of scrimmage. 2 backs, both the Bangstons behind Bobinski, and it's Blake. No question here, first down. He's 4 yards down to the 14, and the Evergreens move the sticks. First down, Everest, into the red zone. They can pick up a first down at the 4. Singles to either side. Vinny Tesh comes in along with Blake Bankston. Those are the running backs behind Bobinski. It's Blake. Wow, got the seam there on the right side. He's inside the 10. He's down to the 8. 6 yards on first down as the Evergreens are knocking closer. We'll go under 3 minutes to play in the first quarter when the Evergreens snap it again. Evergreens have been able to run at will. Bobinski 0 for 1 passing. All of the Everest yardage has come on the ground, and until Appleton West shows they can stop it. Counterplay here. Tesh forward. They're going to get a first down depending on where the ball is spotted. 1st and goal down to the 3-yard line. Counterplay. As the Evergreens move within the shadow of the goal line. And one of the Appleton West players is struggling to get off the field, and we're going to stop play for just a moment. Diego Chavez needed a moment, and Chavez now over the sideline is down on a knee. Going to make sure that he's okay. And we hold up play for a little bit. And now, they want to make sure that Chavez not only is okay, but they want to make sure that Chavez is far enough from the out-of-bounds line. If a play should go backwards, want to make sure that he's not hurt. I believe we're going to get our video back up shortly, so just hang with us here. Again, we're in a timeout with 2:36 left in the first quarter. And they're looking over at Chavez, the defensive. He's one of the outside linebackers. They want to make sure that he can get into the protected player area, even though he is off the field of play. He's just 1 or 2 steps over on the boundary on the far side. Opener at Steam Stadium on Stephenhagen Field. 7-0 Evergreens, and looking for more. As we come up to the line of scrimmage, ball's just outside the 3-yard line. 1st and goal, Everest. Humid night, and the West defense has been on the field almost the entire first quarter. And you know what? Someone else from the medical staff is coming over to look at Chavez. And I mean, I'm not the doctor here, but Chavez looks like he's dehydrated. Now he's up on his feet, but looks a little bit wobbly. So this has been kind of an extended delay, which is just perfect for us because it gives us a little bit of time to get the tech straightened out here. Again, in an injury timeout here at Steam Stadium with 2:36 to play in the first quarter. Evergreens look like they're chomping at the bit. Get themselves up to the line of scrimmage. From when I would do these games on the radio, Tony Hollander is doing color play-by-play and tech support. I used to hate when we would do the radio games and we had something that required tech help. Evergreens are up to the line of scrimmage, 1st and goal from the 4. Bobinski, handoff, Bangston, second effort to the end zone. They're going to say his knee was down before he extended the ball across the goal line. Blake Bangston, close, but not quite. The Evergreens have another play called. They're right up to the line of scrimmage. Bobinski, he fumbled the ball. The Evergreens moved prematurely. This is a red zone penalty. So the ball was inside the 1. The Evergreens are going to get whistled for a false start, and they're going to go back 5 yards. Uh-oh. Clock winds again. We'll go under 2 minutes to play in the first quarter before the Evergreens snap it. Caden and Blake Bangston are the backs here, behind Bobinski. Bobinski will throw, has protection, throws back across his body, the one that you don't want to, no matter, he's got it. Preston Miller. You see Bobinski stop and then throw across his body. You say, oh no, oh no, oh no, that's a mistake, until he finds the receiver, and then yeah, it's just fine. Preston Miller, 4-yard touchdown reception, and the Evergreens have a 13-0 lead. Gabe Golbach will try the extra point. Out of Preston Miller's hold, kick to the uprights is good. 1:51 to play in the first quarter, and the Evergreens have taken a 14-0 lead. I'm not sure if we actually have the video of the touchdown. I'll describe it for you. It was a 4-yard touchdown pass from Jack Bobinski. He rolled out to the far side, then he stopped and planted his foot and threw across his body. Again, normally what you would coach someone not to do, and found Preller in the back of the end zone. Both of the Everest touchdowns come on the terror going for it on 4th down and failing. Okay. We understand that our video is back. We apologize for the tech. Everything's going to be smooth and groovy for the rest of the night. Again, Appleton West, just the decisions have done them no favors tonight. And you know, what do we say? What's the sign of a good team? You make your opponents pay for their mistakes. West went twice on 4th down in their own end. They were stopped, and the Evergreens have indeed made them pay full price. Got them for touchdowns both times. Kick back to the 5-yard line. Here's Ezra Brown again. Brown waits for his blocking. Evergreens look like they have this well defensed. Didn't quite get back to the 25-yard line. West will start there. Does West have a first down? If they do, they have only one. West has just simply not moved the football against this Everest defense here in the first quarter.
And Chris, I don't believe they do have a first down yet.
Yeah, I think you're right. So, I mean, this West offense needs something positive to happen here. I mean, you can't go 3 and out again and put your defense back out here. This ball game would have the feel of something that's going to come to an early end. Singles to either side. Ryder, Hoffman. I think there was movement up front. I think we're going 5 yards back. Yep. Each team has been penalized once now in this fourth quarter. Late quarter number 1. The Evergreens have the 2 touchdowns. They have not had to put together a long drive.
And that's sometimes nice because it gives the offense some rest, even though the defense has been out there just as long.
Here again is this 5-receiver package, and the Evergreens have gotten to the quarterback a lot. Yeah, there's the free man from the outside who just didn't quite bring the quarterback down. And again, this time it's Ryder Hoffman who threw across his body back to the center of the field.
And that is not something you want to do as a young quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. The Evergreens had Bobinski throw across his body, got a touchdown out of it.
And we do have a flag.
I mean, this is a roughing the passer?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. It's a late hit. And I think Appleton West is going to get their first down of the night via penalty. But, I mean, you see, not to belabor the point, you see why you don't want to throw back across your body there? You're throwing to the middle of the field. Your receiver has to reach back for that ball, and there are 3 defenders around it. Just it's a low percentage play.
Defense likes it because it's throwing right back into them.
Sure is. So it is indeed a first down out to the 35-yard line. Evergreens again send pressure, and it gets home. Second sack of the night for Nate Nimitz. Wyatt Geyer was also coming right behind him. The Evergreens, from that left side of the line, just wasn't enough protection there. It's a big loss, too. When the Evergreens send an extra man, it's like they're getting home all the time. So a first down via penalty, and on the very next play, back 9 more yards. Now 4 instead of 5 receivers in this possession. Change the receiver from the slot to the wide, and a handoff, kind of a delayed or a botched handoff, and something good comes out of what looked like a broken play.
Broken play and actually a good chip block by the wide receiver on the near side for the Evergreens.
Needed 19 and got 19. This is the first thing that's remotely looked like a drive for the Terror here. Up to the line of scrimmage, got another play called. Quarterback fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. There's another block along the side that got extra yardage for Ryder Hoffman. I think that's the second time in a row that we've seen one of the wide receivers make the block downfield that led to extra yardage.
Yep, that is correct.
Well, trailing 14-0, suddenly the Terror's offense like to have their sea legs. This is the 5-receiver package again. Pressure coming over the middle, one-on-one coverage, intercepted. There's a penalty marker down here. It's in the defensive backfield, maybe pass interference. This may wipe out Dylan Neuendank's interception. This flag came in, it was well behind the play. In that spot, it's usually on the defense. Let's see what we have and see if this INT holds up or not.
The way that the defense is staying out there, though, it doesn't appear to be that, and the offense is staying out for West. So,
you know, Neuendank was almost at half speed as he was running back, like he knew out of his peripheral vision that a flag was thrown behind him.
And that is a killer. That is too many men on the field for the Evergreens.
Right, and you know, on a play like that, you know, if the extra man is, say, a linebacker, don't need him there, you sure would rather have the interception. Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, it's the back judge. It's the guy who's all the way behind the play. His job, one of his jobs, is to count him up, and when he counts 12, it's penalty. So, Appleton West. Looks like they had some confusion in their huddle. They're going to take a timeout. Why don't we take a commercial break here, too? We're late first quarter. Evergreens 14, Appleton West nothing, but the Terror are driving for the first time. Back after this break on Zaleski Sports.
Cropping Central, conveniently located between Edgar and Stratford on County Road N, 715-352-2843. Let Cropping Central take care of your field plans, yield mapping, crop scouting, and crop protection, including hail insurance. Cropping Central, 715-352-2843, and visit them on County Road N, west of Edgar.
DJ's Pain and Panic right behind me, entertaining the crowd here at Steam Stadium. Appleton West timeout is over. This is a 1st and 5 after the Everest penalty for too many heads on the field. By far the nicest drive of the game for Appleton West. Again, all things being equal, we'd like a competitive game here in week 3, and Appleton West starting to wake up. Pressure from the backside, quarterback steps up, slides, taken down anyway. Contact before the slide, no penalty there, and a gain of maybe a yard. For those not familiar with the slide rule, the ball is supposed to be spotted where the slide begins. That's going to be the final play of the first quarter, unless Appleton wants to hurry up and get one more off.
Like
it is 2nd and 4.
Get that off.
Yep. With 3-2 on the official game clock, this will count to the flat, one-on-one coverage. First contact couldn't quite get there. Second does, and this is going to be short. Did that ball come loose? It's a turnover, and the Evergreens have it. As the receiver was going to the ground, and suddenly the rushed play works against Appleton West too. The ball's turned over, and the Evergreens have it. Appleton West finally putting together the drive, put the ball on the ground, and the second quarter will begin with the Evergreens back in possession, leading 14-0. We'll change sides and turn the page to quarter number 2. This is Everest football on Zaleski Sports.
Edgar Family Restaurant is located just south of Highway 29 in Edgar and open 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, drink, dessert, get it all at Edgar Family Restaurant. Homemade food to fill your belly and your soul. Daily specials including Friday fish fry, soup, salad, pies made from scratch, and a full menu of choices are yours at Edgar Family Restaurant. Give back to those who support our community. Give back and visit Edgar Family Restaurant for breakfast tomorrow, then stay for lunch and dinner too. Edgar Family Restaurant is a proud backer of Wildcats football.
Well, Appleton West has turned the ball over 3 times in the first quarter. Can't do that. The 2 other turnovers, both times they went for it on 4th down and failed, gave the Evergreens short field, scored both times. Now a completed pass and a fumble, and the Evergreens have it, but with a lot of real estate in front. Everest takes over at their own 34-yard line. So we're looking for a 66-yard drive to build on a 14-0 lead as we move to the second quarter. Chris Conley, voice of the Evergreens. Tony Hollander joining us on today's broadcast. 3-step drop for Babinski. Good pressure. Throws to one-on-one coverage. Got a step and dropped. Close.
So close.
Looking for Flynn Huffman.
Flag on the play again.
Where is this? This is back in the backfield?
In the backfield, and I thought I saw a preliminary hold signal.
Holding on the Evergreens. We've discussed this in our earlier Everest broadcast. Holding is penalized differently in high school football than it is at other levels. Holding is a spot foul. So, for instance, this hold took place 5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. And in high school football, it's a 15-yard penalty. So this cost the Evergreens 20 yards of field position and moves them all the way back to the 19-yard line. I've always thought, now, Tony,
10 yards only.
Tony's got a lot of football refereeing experience. I've always thought that the penalty for holding is too severe in high school football because you're asking inexperienced offenses to overcome a lot. This snap is on the ground. Babinski picks it up. Ball security and forward to the 29-yard line. Got 8 yards back.
And just the snap on itself, I mean, that's something that center and quarterback work on consistently during the practices and making sure that that's on point every single time because that's the number one thing that needs to happen in any game.
Looked to me that was down at Jack's feet. Again, Babinski half the time is under center. He's not always in the pistol like he is here. But you need a snap right at the quarterback's belt buckle, not down low like that. Up the middle. For one of the few times all night, there's just nothing between the tackles there. Blake Bangston.
Appleton West did a good job of closing that hole before it could even open up anymore.
So, I mean, keep an eye at this stage of the game. Here we are, early second quarter. West has moved the football before their drive came to an end on a turnover. The defense has been playing a little bit better on this sequence, too, and has a chance to get off the field on what looks like 3rd and 13 or 14 yards. Evergreens need to get all the way out to the 44-yard line. One of the few times today the Evergreens have third down from behind the chains. Twins to either side. Straight drop. Now the protection breaks down. Bobinski is flushed out. Throws. All alone. Broken coverage.
Wide
and the
open.
Evergreens, wow, there was no one within 15 yards. It's Clay Holman.
Does not look like any flags on the play, so it will stand.
Somebody blew coverage there. I mean, maybe Appleton West was sending someone extra to get more pressure on the quarterback, but somebody's got to be on that receiver. Holman's all alone. 66-yard touchdown pass.
And when those type of breakdowns occur, you're going to get that because the defense is starting to look in the backfield. They saw him scrambling and started coming up thinking that he was going to run with it.
West had only 10 players on the field for this point after try. Man number 11 is late getting on. Kick is a line drive, good. And all systems go for the Evergreens. They've converted 3 terror turnovers into 3 touchdowns, 21-0.
And that's the one thing you want to do as a team is when you have those turnovers, you're able to capitalize and create points off of them.
There are a couple of things that I think are kind of demoralizing right now for Appleton West. Again, they have a drive going, then put the ball on the ground. 4 plays later, the Evergreens are in the end zone. And Appleton West on the touchdown play is this close to getting a sack. They've got Babinski scrambling. He'd rather be more of a pure drop-back quarterback. I mean, he's one lunge away from one of the defensive linemen getting him, and instead he connects with a receiver who's all alone downfield, no one within 15 yards of number 15, Clay Holman. 21-0. Line drive kick to the 5. Lateral this back. And here's a break. One man to beat. And that's how Appleton West will get on the scoreboard. Ben Velasquez. It's a 95-yard touchdown run. So that looks like an answer.
That's the best way that they can answer it. Right on the special teams. I mean, you have 3 components of a football team. Offense, defense, special teams. In this case, the special team came right through.
Interesting that the kickoff originally went to Ezra Brownie, handled it back to Velasquez, and then Brown became one of the blockers. This snap was low, and the kick after, no good. So something good, and then something not so good. We'll keep it right here. So it's the first thing that didn't quite go right for the Evergreens. No problem. Football tonight brought to you by Fleet Farm. Get ready for fall cleanup at Fleet Farm. Get all the gear you need, from mowers to spreaders, grass seed, and fertilizer. And check out the supplies for outside jobs. Pressure washers, shed, and paint. Everything you need at one stop. Get it all at Fleet Farm. Chris Conley and Tony Hollander. It's week 3, and it's the home opener for the Evergreens. Everest goes right back on the road week 4. That'll be a Friday night game. All Friday night games for the rest of the season, thank goodness. For those of us who wake up early, like to do the WSAU Wisconsin Morning News, Thursday night road games are killers. And you know what? Next season, we'll open with 2 more on the road on Thursday nights. All right, first time the Terrors will be kicking off to the Evergreens. 10:06 to play until halftime. It's 21-6. And the 6 coming on the 95-yard kickoff return. Jared Marvin to handle the kickoff. And the Evergreens are playing this up close like they don't think Marvin's got that strong a leg. Flynn Hoffman bobbles, picked up, and they're going to say that Flynn's leg was down when he possessed the football, which is why this is blown dead, and the Evergreens have lousy field position. Let's spot him at the 13-yard line.
Probably the worst field position that they've had tonight yet.
Yep. Yeah, the Evergreens have feasted on short fields in this game.
I mean, you could say that really they've been going backwards in the field position game, but that's just because they started on their opponent's 25, the first possession, and then they started on the opponent's 44, the second possession.
Bobinski will be under center here with two backs behind him. This is back to Caden Bankston. Second effort, legs churning. Boy, that's what I love about Caden. Caden, after initial contact, still keeps that lower part of his body moving. There's a flag here in the defensive backfield.
There has been a lot of flags tonight so far.
See, this looks like an 8-yard gain and additional yardage for a face mask. Tony, you were telling me the last time, you know the rules even better than I do, maybe a lot better than I do. 5-yard penalty here.
Dad?
We had thought that all face masks in high school football would be assessed at 15 yards.
Correct.
So maybe incorrect here. Still first down for the Evergreens, out to the 27-yard line. Actually, I kind of like taking the guesswork out because up until now, an official has to judge face mask with intent. This play goes backwards, a sack. One of the few times that the Everest offensive line hasn't hung up. I like taking the judgment out of. If you grab the face mask, it's the same. It's a standardized penalty.
Correct, because then you're taking out the intent, and it's just you grab it, and it's safety reasons.
Right, to say just simply the face mask or the horse collar is simply off limits, and it's always a personal foul. It was not assessed that way there. So the Evergreens, after picking up the first down, go backwards, back to their 20-yard line. 1st and 17. Jet sweep. First time the Evergreens have shown this all season. Defense did a good job moving and to shut down the speed of Flynn Hoffman. He's got only a couple of yards there. Didn't get the corner.
Yeah, the defensive end did a great job of turning the corner, getting up the field, and forcing the running back inside where all his buddies are.
Yeah, that defensive lineman, kid on the right side of that play, I mean, his job is contain. Turn the play back in towards and don't let the runner get the sideline, and he didn't. So here comes third down. You know, the game gets a little bit interesting if the Evergreens don't convert this 3rd and long and have to give the ball back to the Terror. It'd be an opportunity for your opponents to get back into this if Appleton West can move the football should they get it back. Straight drop, good protection, slinging.
Great pass.
Oh my, perfect touch on a first down. Big conversion. Pearson McDonald had no catches last week, had a catch in game 1, and has a big 3rd down conversion. 18 yards and moved the chains. Bobinski put that in just right. Needed the touch to get it over the man who had underneath coverage, and then was still able to get it with enough zip on it into McDonald's hands. Pretty pass, nice catch. And on 3rd and long, the Terror's defense cannot get off the field. Coming to the middle stages of quarter number 2 now. New set of downs. Counter play. Breaking a tackle to the sideline. Big gain down the far side for the Evergreens. Vinny Tesh, second man through.
And that was a great job of cutting back, reading his blockers, and getting to the outside.
Tesh gets 16, and the ball moves from the 50 down to the 43-yard line. So on what was a 3rd and long and a chance for Appleton West to get the ball back, the Evergreens, presto, have flipped the field, if nothing else, with a 21-6 lead.
I think they even changed the momentum.
Yeah, back to a power set. Blake Bankston. Now it's Caden. Caden's the older brother, and he's down to the 39-yard line. He's got 4. Yeah, I mean, you think the big plays come in the 4th quarter of close games. The 3rd and long was a big play. Appleton West could have gotten the ball back, could have had reasonably good field position, and if they march and put points on the board, it becomes a one-score game. Instead, the script looks completely different now. The Evergreens complete the 3rd and long, pick up a first down since then, and are suddenly marching. Vinny Tesh. Contact at the line. Tesh is forward for 1 or 2. 3rd down. Should the Evergreens not pick up the 4 yards that they need? Be an interesting 4th down decision. The Evergreens have not punted all night. If they're short, you could pin West back in their own end. If you go for it and fail, again, you give West a chance to make this a one-score game. Let's see if the Everest offense can take that decision away. Pitch. There's some defensive pressure there. Forward, short, and a late flag comes into the pile. Caden Bangston needed 4 and got only 2 yards.
This one's going to be a personal foul. Horse collar.
Gives the Evergreens a first down, a gift. Got him stopped. It was going to be 4th and 2. We're going to walk off 15 yards here. Football is brought to you by Nicolet Bank. Nicolet Bank offers personal banking that works for you. Locations in Merrill, Edgar, Medford, Colby, Stevens Point, and Wausau. Nicolet Bank. Ball moves all the way down to the 21-yard line.
You know, if you look back at this drive right now, I think the pivotal play is going to be that 3rd and 14.
Yeah, big pass completion to Pearson McDonald. Going to throw on first down here. Now flushed out. Staying on his feet, and Bobinski, who could have been sacked for a loss, turns it upfield and gets down to the 15-yard line. He gained 7 on what could have been a negative play.
Great mobility, being able to jump over the defensive player and still have momentum going forward.
You know, Bobinski is more mobile in his senior year than we thought he would be as a junior. I mean, last year he was projected to be the starter this year, and he was kind of the drop-back quarterback. But when Bobinski gets flushed out, he's got good wheels. He can turn it upfield, and he can throw on the run, too. 2nd down. Evergreens get the seam inside the 5. Caden Bangston. Thought there was a good block on the left side of that offensive line. That's what sprang Caden to 1st and goal. Under 5 minutes to play in the first half. 21-6 Evergreens, and the Evergreens are huddling up before going on 1st and goal. Single receivers to either side. 2 backs behind Bobinski. 2nd man through to the end zone. Touchdown, Blake Bangston from 4 yards out. 4:37 to play in the half. And the Evergreens are up by 3 scores. Blake Bangston's 2nd touchdown run today. Golbach to try the extra point. Snaps a little bit high. Got it down. Got it through the uprights. Our new score is 28-6. Tony Hollander's absolutely right. It's the big 3rd down pass completion got the Evergreens across midfield, kept that drive going. So the Evergreens made a key play in the earlier stages of the drive. Personal at halftime for the fans here at Steam Stadium, the DC Everest dance team will entertain. They're year after year best in the saw them warming up when I got here earlier in the afternoon, joking with some of their coaches. Said, you know, it's high expectations year after year, isn't it? Yes, yes, indeed it is. Everest dance team, again, when you're entertained by them, you're entertained by elite student athletes. And here on our Zaleski Sports feed, The Everest Hard Knocks, Episode 1 at halftime. 4:37 away. This will go through the end zone. The Terror will start at the 20-yard line. So again, 80 yards of real estate to work with here. Appleton West has turned the ball over 3 times. The Evergreens have 21 points off the 3 turnovers. Staying with Ryder Hoffman at quarterback. Hoffman hasn't done much for throwing the ball downfield, but in his defense, he hasn't had a lot of time. The Everest defensive line has been solid. Again, a rush, a sack. Got penalty flags flying from, 3 or 4 officials. This is a sack for a loss of 10. Probably a hold. Let's wait and see.
And if it is a hold, they're going to decline that one because of the sack.
Right, you'll want the 10 yards backwards.
And loss it down.
Looked like Postler and Paulson. Future law firm, no doubt. Evergreens will decline this. Not a hold, a face mask. Like Tony predicted, you want to move to second down, and you're happy with the loss of 10 yards. It's a dangerous spot on the field for Appleton West. Kind of got to do something with the football here.
But you can't be too risky.
Right, but you sure can't go 3 and out and give the Evergreens with time left in the half and a short field. Throwing in the seam, that's the best throw of the night for their junior quarterback. It's not enough for a first down, but delivered that ball accurately and gets 13 yards.
And puts a third down very manageable.
Sure, this is not 3rd and beyond the chains. This is 3rd and 7. No huddle here. West already has the next call played. 3 receivers up high, 1 down low. This is going to be some kind of pass back with receivers as blockers.
Everest came with the blitz.
And there's empty space in the middle of the field. He's short of the first down, though. Backside pursuit there. Who is that? That's Arlen Sangsters. Had a great season. Sangsters got him 2 yards short.
You can almost give a little bit of an assist to the official. The umpire had to get out of the way there.
Did I not see the umpire high step? Did I see a moment of athleticism there?
Yeah, I think we did.
Boy, earlier in the game, twice on 4th down, Appleton went for it deep in their own end. This time they will punt away. The Evergreens are going to have about 3 minutes left, and the Evergreens are going to have good field position. They could get more points before we get to the locker room. Marvin to kick.
Everest has to watch for a potential fake, though.
Nope, kicking it away. It's off the side of his foot. If you're a golfer, look away. That 5-iron went into the woods. That is a 21-yard kick. And the Evergreens will start in Terror territory. 2 timeouts, 2:50 left. The clock really is not a factor as the Evergreens go looking for more points before halftime.
And just like in the first quarter, starting in the opponent's territory.
Yeah, let's see. The Evergreens have had the ball, 5 times. 4 of the 5 possessions have been in Appleton West territory. Evergreens have owned the field position battle. It's one of the things you want to win. First down, over the middle, open. Yeah, he kind of threw back across his body again. Flynn Huffman broke tackles, split the defenders, into the red zone again. I mean, it wasn't that egregious. He was almost throwing on a line. Huffman's got a lot of speed. There's always the potential for yardage after the catch. Just like that, Evergreens are threatening again. Clock stops momentarily, winds again. 2.5 until halftime. Twins.
Great job.
Twins to either side. Protection's good again. Now a late rush. To the end zone. Open. Touchdown, Evergreens. Late flag. Flag in the backfield. Preston Miller has his second touchdown reception of the night if it stands up.
Everest seems to be cheering. Oh, hang on.
On the field, it's a 17-yard touchdown reception. We will see in a moment if it stands up or not. Personal foul, roughing the passer. So the 17-yard, you know what? The quarterback's happy to take the lick if the ball's in the end zone, right? Right. Preston Miller's got his second touchdown catch. And here is Gabe Golbach's extra point try. It is good. A short shanked punt, a short field for the Evergreens, and it took them just 4 plays to get down the field and get into the end zone with 2:19. Boy, if you're the Terror, you can't get to halftime fast enough, and we're not there yet.
And that's a big momentum gain again. Here at Appleton West has Everest on the ropes, 3rd and 14. Everest converts, goes down, scores a touchdown. Gets Appleton West out, gets the ball back, scores in less than a minute.
And, give the Evergreens credit. I mean, this is an opponent that's a step down from what they saw a week ago. But the loss to Chippewa Falls in week 2 was just a heartbreaking loss, where your opponent just did more down the stretch of that game and secured a victory that just felt like a game that could go either way. This is a really nice bounce-back effort. The personal foul is going to be assessed on the kickoff. So Appleton West is going to get pinned back on this kickoff. Again, if you're watching our Zaleski Sports feed, DC Everest football hard knocks at halftime. If you're sneaking peeks at your phone here in the stands at Steam Stadium, the Everest dance team to entertain at halftime. Almost a field goal.
Always love to see that.
West somehow needs to get this clock down to zeros and not give the ball back. It's a team that lost 40-14 last week.
And if you're Everest, you have 2 timeouts in the bag. You can't carry them over to the second half. You almost think that if you can get the ball back, you have a legitimate chance to score again.
And you know what the Evergreens might be thinking? You play part or all of the second half in running time. The Evergreens have a big roster. They got a lot of kids. And you can get a lot of kids onto the field tonight if you've got the game safely in hand by the time we move to the second half. Well, that part of the story has not yet been written, and this is intercepted. Give the ball right back. The receiver fell down, and the Evergreens are indeed going to get more. Matt Nielsen's interception. I think, Tony, you saw this. This penalty came in after the interception. I think this is going to be a post-change of possession foul.
It will. It's going to be a block in the back on the Everest defense.
Yeah, so one play later. And
but they're still going to be in really good field goal position.
Yeah, 2 timeouts, 2:08 left, and a 4th turnover for the Terror here in the first half. Football is brought to you by Stone Innovations. Stone Innovations of Plover is here to serve you. They specialize in the fabrication, design, and installation of stone countertops. Stone Innovations operates the most advanced fabrication equipment in the industry. To begin your order, go online, stoneinnovations.net. One word, stoneinnovations.net.
So it was before the interception they called a hold
on the Everest defense. This is a huge break for Appleton West. What looked like, well, you know what? The receiver had fallen down, maybe because he was held.
Very well could have been.
Penalty that wipes out a turnover and keeps the ball with Appleton West.
I mean, we haven't gone a handful of plays without a flag.
Looking to throw, overshoots the receiver, and it's the Everest defensive back who had a better chance of catching that than the Appleton West receiver. Mercifully, I see no flags on the field after this. And, you know, when you have so many penalties, and one team is going to throw to try and cut into a pretty big deficit, sometimes it feels like it can take a long time for the clock to get down to all zeros. In fact, this second quarter, just my sense of this quarter feels like it's gone on forever. Clock stops at the incompletion and keeps us at 1:50 left until halftime. Twins to either side. You know, that running back who's next to the quarterback is key because he's got to pick up anyone who is an extra rusher. Fake. He didn't pick up the extra rusher. Came from the other side. Sack. Braxton Reichert, Jr., first sack of his varsity career. The Evergreens are opting not to use their timeouts. So the clock continues to run on third and very long.
And now we do have a timeout.
And now they do. Oh, wait a minute. Our game clock is still moving. A couple of seconds kicked off.
He's adding.
Yeah, the referee is telling us to add 4 seconds onto the clock. You know, on the field, communication among the officiating crews in the last couple of years has gotten better. They all wear earpieces. They can talk to each other. The missing link in all of this is the officials being able to communicate directly with game control up here in the press box.
Correct. Actually, they do use the coaches for that, though, because the coaches up here talk with the field staff.
Right. So the white hat can go over and talk to, say, the offensive coordinator and say, tell the coaches, who then tell the clock operator, add the time back on. If that seems roundabout, yes. It's better than building a fire and sending smoke signals up, of course. Go back to 1:23 on the clock here.
That would be interesting to watch that on the field, smokestack.
And again, we've made sure that we're all tight and wound up on the clock in a first half that for the Terror just seems like it will not end. Here comes pressure, penalty down, quarterback's down. Again, Arlen Sangster, who's having a tremendous senior year on defense, rallies up another sack, and there is a penalty marker down. You know, if this is a hold and you give up the sack anyway, there's nothing good about that. So you held till you took a little edge that you shouldn't have anyway, and your quarterback's still on the seat of his pants. And I think that's what we have here.
Called it correctly, Chris.
So, with the declined penalty, again, we're trying to get this second quarter to an end. The clock should wind once the ball is ready for play. This is fourth and, well, there are not a lot of plays for 4th and 30, but that's what we're at here. So this is a punting situation. And wrong personnel. One player's coming off, one player's coming on. It's the punter who's late coming on. Yeah, the punter's got to realize here that at 4th and 30, you're kicking. And he's the last guy onto the field. And it's a bad snap. Straight up into the air. He's lucky this wasn't blocked. Evergreens get away from it. And the Evergreens are taken over 30 yards away from the goal line. 2 timeouts, 1:08. And there's blood in the water right here. Let's thank our game day sponsors. Era Pancakes, Merrill Iron and Steel, Ag Country FS, and Wiggly Field Bar. I believe some volleyball will be played at Wiggly over the 3-day weekend. Well, I mean, the vibe is good at Stephen Hagen Field today. Evergreens lost by 14 in week 2. They're going to go to the halftime locker room with a big lead. The question really is by how much. 2 timeouts, 1:08. Do the Evergreens kind of have the killer instinct right here? Twins to either side. Bobinski in the pistol. This formation tells me we're looking for more. 3-step drop. Protection's good. To one-on-one coverage. 1 play later, touchdown. A 3rd touchdown catch for Preston Miller, a 30-yard strike. That was a really nice ball from Bobinski. Dropped that in right where it needed to be.
And that may have been his choice, but he did a great job of looking off and not making it apparent he was going that way. He was looking to his left his whole time and then fired back to his back to his right.
Evergreens have 4 touchdowns here in the second quarter. 1 play after 4th and 30 and a bad punt. Kick is good, and our new score is 42-6. This has got to be maddening for Appleton West. Again, way back when this game was shiny and new, Appleton West back in their own end went for it on 4th and short and was stopped. They gave the Evergreens a short field. On their next possession, trailing 7-0, they went for it on 4th down again. And the Evergreens came up with a sack and got another short field and cashed in both for touchdowns. So the Terror have been playing from a hole of kind of their own digging. And it's gotten worse since then. So the Everest fans who have delayed their Labor Day travel, you'll leave on Saturday morning if you're here on Friday night. Going to have a good vibe on Friday night. Who's hosting the bonfire tonight now that it's a home game? Stop over and head up to the cabin, head up north tomorrow morning. Again, practically no time came off the clock. This kick is out of bounds.
That'll be an illegal procedure. Kick out of bounds. I believe that goes up to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, Appleton West needs the locker room here. And incomplete passes and penalties, bad punts, short field, and the Evergreens are just rolling up the score. We are going to get to call a lot of different names and a lot of new faces in the second half of this game. You know, in the 12 years that I've done Everest games, 42 points in the first half. This is the biggest first half output in all the games that I've been doing. Quarterback is going to keep this and now pitch back. That pitch back is bobbled. There's another penalty flag down. I mean, at least he stayed in bounds. If the Evergreens decline this penalty, the clock can continue to wind. Holding Appleton West. Declined. No, the Evergreens taking this penalty. They're taking the penalty.
That's an interesting call at this point. Unless they plan on using their...
They were going to. And they put the ball back down. Penalty declined. The play was for a loss of 2. Design rollout. Throwing on the design rollout. And first down. It's a 34-yard completion. And now Appleton West, that they flipped the field, takes the timeout. It's Ezra Brown on the reception. Again, the Evergreens in the defensive secondary still play a lot of one-on-one coverage, and sometimes they get beat. If you're a defensive back on this Everest defensive unit, you do not know how to win your one-on-one matchup with the receiver. Actually, Appleton is not using a timeout. They got the clock stopped briefly while the chains were moved.
No, they did use a timeout.
Oh, I see. We're counting down the 1 minute on our stadium clock, 1 minute for their timeout here.
Correct.
Got it. That's one of the quirks of Steam Stadium. And now we're ready for play with the clock indeed stopped and 34 seconds left until halftime. Looks like the Evergreens have jumped into the neutral zone. Nope. Because nothing can go right for the Terror, it's the offensive lineman that moved.
Probably was pretty close to neutral zone infraction as well.
I'm not keeping an official count, but I believe that is the 9th penalty on the Terror in the first half. You can't win when you're making that many mistakes. I mean, granted, there are other problems for the Terror in this game, but the penalties have just been alarming. Quarterback will tuck and run and stay in bounds. Takes a big lick, too, to the 34-yard line. And the Terror will take their final timeout. Got back the lost yardage and the penalty yardage to make this 2nd and 9. And Appleton West will be unable to stop the clock for the rest of the first half, except for first downs and ball out of bounds.
Essentially, I would say that if they get the ball and it's in bounds, it should be half over.
Yeah, you'd have to rush up to the line of scrimmage and spike it quickly with the clock moving. So what West really needs is a shot at the end zone from the 34-yard line or something that goes towards either sideline. Everest big. Appleton West, their 6 points came on a kickoff return for a touchdown. The offense has not put the ball in the end zone yet. Blitz, quarterback was hit, absorbed a big hit, and he's hurt. Slow getting up. He's going to need his offensive lineman to get him up. Hit by 2 Everest players, Sangster and Nate Nimitz. QB is up.
And obviously 4-down territory.
Actually, if this is number 10, this is a different quarterback in here. If that's number 10 back there, that's Vander Putten into quarterback here. No, Vander Putten is setting up as a receiver.
14.
Right. Regular quarterback, that is indeed Ryan Huffman. Vander Putten, who is the senior quarterback, is in the slot on the near side. Under 20 seconds to play. Quarterback under pressure again, throws out to the sideline, got to get out of bounds, breaks a tackle. Late hit is coming up here on the quarterback, and the ball goes inside the 10-yard line. Evergreens are going to be penalized here. Ryder Hoffman was hit after that ball was out. You can take this half the distance. There it is, roughing the passer, which will move the ball from the 7 to the 3.5. I was told there would be no math tonight. And here we are having to do fractions at this part of the field. It's 1st and goal. Our umpire doesn't look like he wants to do the math either. He was a little confused about where to spot the ball. He's got it down now. 9 seconds left. So, I mean, it's touchdown or bust.
Question is does the clock start here? We'll see if the official has that.
Marks the ball ready for play, but did not wind the clock. So 9 seconds left, maybe 2 shots at the end zone if you hurry. But if Appleton West is stopped short and the ball is still in the field to play, the half will come to an end and they'll get nothing.
So it definitely is going to be a pass.
Can't afford a sack. Running towards the pylon. Turn back. He didn't get in.
Bounds. He's in bounds.
He didn't get in. He's in bounds, and the half will end. Yep. That's another standout defensive play. Quarterback did not get out of bounds, was turned back, lunging for the pylon, and did not make the sideline. So Appleton West gets down to the 3-yard line and craps out right there. 42-6. Why don't we take a little break here as we're at halftime. Evergreens are up big. And then episode 1 of DC Everest Hard Knocks. This is halftime on Zaleski Sports.
Customize your next apparel order with Maida Custom Apparel of Stevens Point. Visit us today for custom baseball and softball apparel. Need help with a design? We have you covered. Our highly skilled staff will turn your idea into a reality with great quality screen printing. Or choose from a variety of embroidery options today. Visit us at our physical store or online at maidacustom.com.
First things first with Midstate Technical College. Dual credit programs earn you college credit in high school. Then choose a path that suits you. Use your skills to start your career or transfer to a university to continue your degree. Choose a new career. Transition easily and quickly by upgrading your skills. Or continue your education with dozens of classes to get you on your path. No matter your stage of the game, your first move is Midstate Technical College.
Zaleski Sports Hard Knocks DC Everest is sponsored by Security Health Plan. Security Health Plan, promises kept, plain and simple.
We're going to release both sides on you. Be ready. Ready? Get on top. Let's go. Let's go. Next guy. Next guy. Z's, you got to go full speed. Come on, X's. Block. Block. Come on, here we go. Block him. Block him. Block him. Block him. Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. Stay on it. Good. Next guy. Quick. Reps. Reps.
Special teams is 1/3 of the game plan every week. In a close game, special teams can be the deciding factor.
For last Thursday, this group likes to influence block. What are we working on? Run. They're going to try to position you and kick you out. Middle returns. Remember, stay in your lanes. Do not get blocked. Return back in your lanes. Green light at 35. But how do we cover a kick? Full speed. Ready? Set.
Hey, move up. Hey, look where the ball is.
Go! Cover! Cover! Cover!
Okay? You're offside just a little bit. Yeah, you're front line when he kicks the ball. I will. No, you weren't. You're out. I'm not going to kick. I'm not going to.
No, guys!
Good, good.
missing a guy now?
Yeah, you're missing a guy.
That guy over there. Steve.
Hey guys, hey, 100 miles an hour. All right. Last rep for Braden. Get back to your
Come on, Erwin.
How do we cover a kick? Ready? Go!
Get down there. Middle. Cannot run by the depth of the ball. Cannot get blocked. All out effort, guys. First 3 reps really good. All out effort every time. We're going to find people who can play. Wrecking crew on 3. Be loud, guys. 1, 2, 3. Wrecking crew!
The relationship between coach and quarterback is critical to the success of any team.
We also, I want to do that, the play we did last year with Logan Bentz on the wheel route. I think it was play action.
The Marshfield one?
Power?
Is it the Marshfield one?
Yeah. Wide open.
With 7-on-7 looking smooth for Babinski and his offense, special teams looks to finish practice strong.
One's in. Here we go. How we doing time? Get it! Get the 2! Here we go. Right here. Bring it in. That's all we got. Come on. Here we go. What's the goal? First down. 1, 2, 3. First down. Hustle off.
I'm telling you right now, any success that we have on Thursday with these guys right here, that's a hell of a job winning this offense. Being able to execute that in 2 days, that's a hell of a job. Let's give them another clap. Nice and loud. 1, 2, 3. Woo! All right. Make sure that you understand what's in front of you right now. Okay? You have to take a couple minutes. You have to get on film, watch how they execute things, watch the pulling guards, watch the defense, the tight ends, defensive ends, watch the secondary, watch your keys, watch the quarterback, watch the receivers and doubles, pay attention to the drag route, pay attention to the flood routes, do the things that you can control. Here's the other thing you control. You control your intensity every day you come out there. You control how excited you are for your brother making a play. I can't tell you how important that is. When we make a huge play, oh my God, the entire stadium better be exploding with green. Okay? We have to buy into that mentality. We have to support each other. We have to realize that your success is our success. Make sure we think in those terms. Make sure we're playing tough. Make sure we're playing physical. Make sure we're demanding exceptional effort from your neighbor, from your brother, from the position next to you. That's how we all succeed.
Hell yeah.
Got one more practice, then we juice it up. This is going to be a statement game. People said, yeah, you beat Preble. How good's Preble? Well, I don't know. You beat this one, you get this one.
That's big.
This is
You're looking live at Chippewa Falls High School for Week 2 high school football action. We're just a few minutes away from kickoff between the DC Everest Evergreens and the Chi High Cardinals. Thanks for looking into our Zaleski sports coverage. My name's Chris Conley, the voice of the Evergreens. Tyler Raines has the ball on the tee for Chi-Hi. Whistle sounds. Week 2 Thursday night high school football's underway. Let's light this candle. Dylan Neuendank to get it for the Evergreens. Across the 25, doesn't quite get to the 30. Evergreens senior Jack Bobinski will start there. So the Evergreens have yet to recover from a penalty on the opening play of the game. Let's see if Chi-Hi sends pressure or drops back into coverage. Trips up high. That's where this pass is going. Protection is still good. Picked up the block, throws over the middle, complete! The Evergreens just zipped that over the hand of the linebacker and into the waiting arms of Flynn Huffman. Big third down conversion, 21-yard reception from the far hash. Snap is down. Line drive to the uprights, wide left. Chi-Hi again wants to be run-oriented. Everybody's in tight. Wing across. Quarterback will throw. Over the middle, tipped, incomplete. Now it's caught. It's caught and down the sideline. Behind the coverage is going to go all the way. Mason Howard, gone. 87-yard touchdown pass. Pistol, two backs behind Bobinski. It's a three-receiver set. Two low, one high. Fumble, ball's loose. And the Evergreens are digging themselves a little bit of a hole. Chi-Hi's recovered. Keeper here, let's see. Under center. Wow, there is some movement up front. Everyone's back onside. Second man through to the end zone, touchdown. In passing situations on third down, the Evergreens have sent the blitz. Well, now Chippewa Falls, first time they spread it out. Two receivers down low. Got a man across the formation again. Quarterback design rollout. Looks to throw underneath. Incomplete. And the Evergreens do get the stop that they needed. Bangston's 10th carry. Got over 100 yards in the first half of last week's game. Evergreens home opener next week. We have a date on Friday to start the Labor Day weekend when Appleton West comes calling. Nobody does Friday night lights like Everest. It's a great atmosphere at Steam Stadium. Passing on second down, stepping up, throwing into coverage. Caught! Touchdown! Evergreens, pretty as a picture to Preston Miller. No flags. Bobinski, 53 yards and a strike. As nice a ball as Bobinski has thrown all season. Three receivers up high. All the Everest defensive backs playing way back here. They're 20 yards off the ball. Pass underneath. Looking for blocking here. The half will end when this receiver is tackled or goes out of bounds. And we are at halftime.
How do we cover a kick? Ready? Hit.
No wind. Short kick from the 10. Blocking up the middle. Closes quickly, but out to the 33-yard line. 34. Chi-Hi starts there. Evergreens trying to take advantage of a Chi-Hi fumble, but they'll need fourth down to do it. Big beef in the backfield. Full T. Bobinski under center himself, spun back, second effort. Is he in? Yes, on second effort. Boy. Misdirection. Again, a blown tackle and no one has contain on the outside. Down inside the 5-yard line is Mason Tester. Be under 4 minutes to go in the quarter when they snap here. Up the middle to the goal line, in, touchdown, Chippewa Falls. That was a really quick answer. Yeah, no margin for error. Single receivers to either side, two backs behind Bobinski. Under center, a pitch to the corner, there's blocking, and there's a touchdown, Evergreens! Caden Bangston from 3 yards out. And again, one extra point away from tying this baby up again. Can the Evergreens get the ball with a chance to take the lead, an opportunity or a spot they have not been in this game? Looking to pass. One-on-one coverage. It is caught. Down to the 25-yard line. If anything, Chippewa Falls is in danger of scoring too quickly and giving the Evergreens lots of time for an answer. On second down. Fumble. Quarterback's got it and is going to get into the end zone on a busted play. Mason Von Hayden. Ball on the ground for a moment, and then ball in the end zone. Kind of a short kick. Bouncing. That ball's in play, and the Evergreens didn't get to the ball. That's a killer. To the corner, touchdown Chippewa Falls. That seals the Everest fate tonight. Mason Howard carries it in. On the field with DC Everest coach Tim Strelo, if there was ever a game that showed you that, little things are the difference between victory and defeat, that was tonight.
Yes, absolutely. We made too many mistakes down towards the end here, and we have to clean that up, especially when we get into conference play right now next week, and we got to keep our heads up. We got to learn from it. We got to get to the film and make corrections.
It feels like it's the kind of game, it's hard to say just right afterwards when you're on the field. It seems like a hard game that's to turn the page from, because they battled back. There were positive things, and in the end, you made you faced an opponent that made more plays down the stretch.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it's very similar kind of to last year. I mean, last year we had the chance right at the end, but I thought we were going to get it right at the end again this year, and they're tough to overcome. Last year we were unable to do it. This year we have to be able to do it to get into conference play.
You got a hell of a lot more in the tank than what you guys think. Don't stop right now. Don't stop right now. Oh, it hurts a little bit. Oh, mentally, I don't want to go. Oh, I can make excuses for myself. This is where you learn this right now and practice if you allow it.
More Evergreens football on Zaleski Sports live Friday, 7 p.m. against Appleton West. And Hard Knocks episodes every Monday.
At Nicolay Bank, we believe that our hometown communities are the backbone of what makes Wisconsin special. From Crivets to Manitowoc and Algoma to Grand Chute, you see a thriving community with Nicolay Bank working as a partner, acting not as a corporation, but a community. When we serve together with local entrepreneurs and leaders, great things happen. That is our guiding principle. A strong and successful hometown means a strong and successful Wisconsin. We are proud to be a part of that. Nicolay Bank. Real people, real conversations.
Halftime in the DC Everest home opener. Week 3, and the Evergreens are up big, 42-6 over Appleton West. Chris Conley along with Tony Hollander. Look, Appleton West has turned the ball over 4 times. The Evergreens have cashed all those in for touchdowns. 9 first-half penalties, can't have that. One team's just simply making too many mistakes to win. Recap our first-half scoring. It was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. Both of the Everest touchdowns came on short fields when Appleton West went for it on 4th down and failed. Evergreens got a 66-yard touchdown pass from Bobinski to Clay Holman. Made it 21-0. There was one moment early in the second quarter when we thought that Appleton West could get back into the game. After the Holman touchdown, there was a long kickoff return for 95 yards from Ben Valevsky. Made it 21-6 after a blocked extra point. And the Evergreens had 3rd and long. Evergreens were about to have to punt the ball. They converted a 3rd and 14. Kept their drive going. Preston Miller's got 3 touchdown receptions in the first half. A 4-yard catch where Bobinski threw back across his body to Miller in the back of the end zone. The other 2 were pretty. Got a 17-yard catch and a 30-yard touchdown reception. So Preston Miller's been in the end zone 3 times. And the Evergreens get the ball to start the third quarter. Sponsored by Whitetail Properties. Looking for hunting or recreational property? Call Brian Rush at Whitetail Properties, 715-213-4468. 715-213-4468. This ball will, wow, the Evergreens were waiting to see if it would go out of bounds. The Evergreens cover it up and will start at the 1-yard line. For those of you who are wondering, at 42-6, we are in running time. You know, the Evergreen special teams from time to time has been mistake prone. They gave up a kickoff return touchdown. That special teams play is not all that pretty. We're going to start with 99 yards of real estate in front of us. There are a couple of other Wisconsin Valley teams that will probably be getting first wins today. Stevens Point is playing Hortonville. Spash opening with Kimberly and Hudson. Beat them both in weeks 1 and 2. New quarterback for the Evergreens, Reese Stoll, will get the snap in his own end zone. Evergreens forward and breathing room immediately. Caden Bangston forward for 8 or 9 yards. 9 yards. So out of the shadow of the goalpost. Marshfield is playing Oconto Falls. It's funny how that game came about. This was the week that Marshfield was going to play Wausau East, and Wausau East is not playing big boy 11-on-11 football. So Marshfield had an opening, and Oconto Falls had an opening when Menominee Indian, which got blown out in their first 2 weeks, they lost 74-0 and 56-0, and Menominee Indian then canceled most but not all of their remaining games. So Marshfield and Oconto Falls each had openings, and they're playing each other. Marshfield's the bigger school and is likely a big favorite there. Stoll carries, first down. Evergreens are going to get their first conference win tonight. Comeback is not in the cards here at 42-6. Next week, the Evergreens are back on the road. Yeah, this season, 3 of the first 4 games are road games. The Evergreens will be at Marshfield. Tony, you and I get a Friday night off. That'll be a Gene Delisio Marshfield crew game.
That is correct.
Everest fans enjoy Gene Delisio. Again, he's the big man about town who has called Marshfield high school sports for many years. Stoll on first down gets only 2 yards. And I'll tell you, Gene Delisio, I mean, I've seen him over the years because our paths have crossed when Everest plays Marshfield. Gene calls a nice game. I would think that the Evergreens will be favored against Marshfield, but those are longtime rivals. So you factor in the rivalry and the familiarity, and week 4 should be interesting. I'll get to watch it from the stands. Hey, Bobinski family, I may be sitting next to you next Friday. Handoff on second down, and that's first down yardage. Caden Bangston. So the Evergreens, who started back at the 1, have 2 first downs already on this drive. And more importantly, the 42-6 lead. A couple of other good things happening around the Everest Athletic Department. I'll bring you up to date on those. First, a scheduling change for us here at Zaleski Sports. After this play on first down. Handoff between the tackles, Vinny Tesh. Tesh gets close to first down yardage. 10 yards, and we'll move the sticks again. All right, here's the programming change at Zaleski Sports. We were scheduled to do the soccer game Tuesday, DC Everest and Rhinelander. That's a rivalry soccer game for the Hammer. Rhinelanders got so many injuries they canceled today. So no soccer on Tuesday. Rhinelander may come back on the soccer schedule later in the season, and we'll let you know if we'll have Zaleski Sports coverage of that. First down between the tackles again, and it's 7 yards for the Evergreens. So no soccer on Tuesday, but we should brag a little bit on the Everest soccer team. They opened their season with a 2-0 loss against a ranked Eau Claire Memorial team. And then it looked like they were going to get more losses handed to them. They went off to Appleton North. Appleton North had a quadrangular last weekend, and the Evergreens won both of their games. They beat Appleton North, and then they beat Green Bay Preble, a top 10 ranked team. Handoff here goes for first down yardage. Pearson McDonald, who had that big third down conversion catch, now gets a chance to carry, and the Evergreens put together a nice drive to open up the third quarter. In running time, we're going to go to the 6-minute mark, and the Evergreens have moved from the 1 to the 48. So the Everest soccer team, they beat Wausau East yesterday 4-0, 1-2-3 wins, fumbled for a moment. Picked up here by Blake Bankston, and he gets the corner. Looked like something was going wrong, then something was going right. Blake Bankston's got 14 yards.
So, Chris, we talk a lot about the substitutes coming in, the second string, third string. This is a big time for them to show what they can do. Because they have to prove a lot during the practices. But now they get the opportunity to play the game on Friday night under the lights.
Yeah, some of these guys that we're going to see in the third and fourth quarter are guys who are thinking that they'll be starters next year. But, boy, you get to build a good foundation for your senior year. If you're a junior now, get on the field in a varsity situation. Teams moving the football like Stoll right now, who's passing here for the first time. That's a bad pass. Okay. But, I mean, he projects to be next year's starting quarterback for the Evergreen. So these are valuable reps. The other side of the coin, this has got to be kind of demoralizing for the Appleton West defense. They get halftime to kind of regroup, and the Evergreens are still moving the ball at will.
And they pin them down deep on the kickoff.
Right, and the Evergreens, just the very first play from their own 1, immediately get breathing room out to the 10 and have put this together since then. 2 backs behind Stoll, not going to get the corner here. So here are 2 plays that rack up nothing for the Evergreens. Incomplete pass, and Pearson McDonald just lost 2. So we're going to let Reese Stoll throw here.
So you talk about some of the other Everest athletics that is going on last night in volleyball. They played crosstown rivals Wausau West at Wausau West, and they came away with, and the Everest program came away with a 3-1 win.
And they've got their morning quadrangular. I'm not certain, but I think we have Zaleski Sports coverage of their tournament tomorrow, which starts at 9 o'clock. Not for me. I'm sleeping in on a holiday weekend. Stoll throws behind the receiver under heavy pressure, incomplete. I think the Evergreens will send the punt team. It'll be the Evergreens' first punt of the night. Flip the field. Nice to see that Diego Chavez was the pursuer. He had trouble getting off the field, injured in the second quarter, and is back out there now. Yeah, we have Everest volleyball coverage this fall on Zaleski Sports, and we have 5 more soccer games. Here's a high but short kick. It's going to go out of bounds near the 20-yard line. Appleton West will get the ball, but most of the third quarter has already been bled off the clock. 3.5 to go in a 42-6 game.
So there is no coverage tomorrow for the volleyball quadrangular.
Thank you, back in the home studio. Appreciate the update. Again, before the fall is out, Everest volleyball and more Everest soccer, plus every DC Everest high school football game. Like we said, Gene Delicio, the voice of the Marshfield Tigers, on the mic next Friday. Actually, I'm kind of looking forward to having a Friday night off and just watching the team play from the fans and from the parents' perspective. That'll be nice. Good protection here. Pass over the middle complete. And forward for 14 yards into the waiting arms of Denham Potts. Postler came up and made the stop for the Evergreens. Again, the Evergreens got all they needed in the first half. 28 points in the second quarter alone to put the game into running time as the third quarter began. So maybe we will wind up ending tonight around the same time that some of those games that started at 6 o'clock are. Pass behind the defense and forward again. Potts down to the 41-yard line. Penalty in the backfield.
Everybody's walking back.
Has the look of, yes sir, hold. So Potts with one catch that stood up, and then one that'll be brought back on a holding penalty. Again, it's 42-6, but this Everest defense, the defensive unit that's on the field, has not given up points tonight. The points were given up by the special teams on a 95-yard kickoff return. So the defense is pitching a shutout. Only 4 home games for the Evergreens this year. The remaining home games after tonight, Wisconsin Rapids and Stevens Point, will come up here to Stephenhagen Field. And then the Milwaukee School of Science, one-on-one coverage over the middle, caught. That's Matthew Vanderputten, who brings the ball back down to right where it would have been before the earlier pass was wiped out by a hold. The referee is talking to the DC Everest defensive lineman Miles Paulson, where you'd think it was a late hit. Paulson right away was pointing towards his helmet that his face mask was held, and that is indeed the call. Paulson, the Everest defender there at the line of scrimmage. Personal foul, face mask, and another nice pass over the middle is going to be wiped out.
I think I've only seen first down in about 37 a couple times.
Right. They need to get to the 46-yard line. And on this drive, the 10th and 11th penalties against the Terror. These yellow flags are going to have to go through the washing machine and dryer for this officiating crew. Last play of the running time, third quarter, all the way back at the 6-yard line. This pass will come from the end zone. Safety. Safety. Those are the first points of the second half. The sack in the end zone for Brett Gast. 44-6.
So 2 big penalties on that one. Both
right.
That against the offense. A hold and a face mask brings it back from first down in Evergreen territory.
Yeah, why is this a safety? Why are they all the way back in the shadow of their own goal line? Penalties. And Appleton West, after the safety, making it 44-6, will have to free kick to the Evergreens. You get the chance to drop kick this or kick it off, but it's back at the 20-yard line. So the Evergreens get possession, and then the third quarter will come to an end. Yeah, the Everest defense has been good tonight. Right, so the safety is kind of an unusual play. The team that scored the safety gets the ball back, so it's 2 points plus the ball. Sounds like we're talking a basketball game here. 2 points plus the ball, intentional foul. No, a safety. And the opposing team can either punt and drop kick from the 20 or put it on the tee and kick it off. Wish you and your family a very enjoyable Labor Day weekend. Thank you for spending the Friday night with us here in our Zaleski Sports coverage. Chris and Tony and the Evergreens are going to move back above 500 as Week 3 draws to a close. High drop kick punt up to field it at the 45-50. Evergreens will again start with a short field, moving the ball almost to the 40-yard line. Third quarter is over. We're back after this break. 44-6 Everest. Fourth quarter and running time when we come back.
If you lose direction, you can grab my hand. I'll be the one behind you to say no. One man band. Just follow your dreams and keep your promises.
We're all different, but we all want great health insurance. See why we're rated #1 in service, coverage, and affordability in Central Wisconsin.
Rich,
creamy, and fun. Point Craft Soda. Caffeine-free, made with 100% real sugar. From Stevens Point Brewery.
Fourth quarter begins, 44-6. Only scoring since halftime, the safety. Last time Appleton West had the ball. 2 penalties, pinned him back. Brett Gast Jr. took care of the rest. Starting quarterback Jack Bobinski's night was done at halftime. It's been junior Reese Stoll since then. Short field here. Again, we mentioned the upcoming Everest home games. This is illegal procedure, 5 yards back. So next week on the road against Marshfield. Week 5 back home against Rapids and then Spash. Evergreens will be on the road against Hortonville. Then back home in the Wausau East vacancy. Nothing doing up the middle here. The Evergreens will be bringing in a Milwaukee school, the Milwaukee Academy of Science. That'll be our Week 8 opponent. And then the Evergreens will be at Tom Field Week 9. Tell me that the Everest West game, that's the Week 9 game to close out the regular season. Again, there's a lot of season to play between now and then, but that Week 9 game seems like it could have implications for bigger things. Again, both of those teams have, I think, Smash, don't be confused by the 0-2 start. Smash is going to be a good team. They've got wins coming their way, too. A lot of people thought at the start of the season, too, that Wisconsin Rapids would be good. Again, Rapids dropped a couple of early games. Third down as the Evergreens are still behind the sticks. And the Evergreens are putting in more second-string offensive linemen. So for a lot of the starters, you don't want injuries in a 44-6 game with a lot of meaningful football coming up. Evergreens are going to take their blowout win tonight and want to keep all the starters healthy. Evergreen Stars today, big game for Preston Miller. Evergreen's receiver, 3 touchdown receptions. I think that Arlen Sangster played well, too. Evergreens are going to punt after the 5-yard gain. Well, you know what? Reese Stoll, the quarterback, was looking over at the sideline, and the Evergreens on 4th down are opting to go for it.
I think this is not a bad decision based on how the defense has been playing the second half so far.
And, at 44-6, let's face it, the tough coaching decisions have already been made. Under center here, needing 10 yards. And the Evergreens will hand off. Justin Waller does not get first down yardage, gets 3 yards, and the ball will go over on downs. So we'll wish the Everest volleyball team good luck tomorrow. That's an early alarm for a holiday weekend. I believe they're starting to play at 9 o'clock over at the field house. Yeah, that's not for me.
Again, I ended up going to the game last night. Phenomenal play.
West Everest volleyball. That's a good rivalry that's brewing there, for sure. West has always had a good volleyball program, and the Everest volleyball program has come up in recent years. First down over the middle, 2 receivers in the same area, and it's the second receiver, and the Evergreens defense has given up points now. 62-yard touchdown reception. That's E.J. Holt. Clock stops after the score with 8:51 until our opponents go on the bus for the 90-minute or so ride home. And the pass rush is not quite what it was before. You know what? That was a weird play because one of those receivers was in the wrong spot. I mean, the ball was thrown to an area where the guy underneath or the guy over the top could have caught it. Guy over the top caught it. Going for 2 points here. Quarterback looks to one-on-one coverage. It is caught. The 2-point conversion is good. So that's Ryder Huffman throwing the strike there. 44-14. Going to take a commercial break here before we get the kickoff. Yeah, we'll be back after this quick message on Zaleski Sports.
When the last thing you need to happen does. One of our 16 mobile service trucks from Sherrill Tire and Service Center can keep you rolling and growing. Sherrill Tire and Service Center, your locally owned farm tire specialist.
Sherrill Tire and Service, keep growing and rolling with us.
Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
44-14. 62-yard touchdown pass in what is the basketball equivalent of garbage time. Evergreens didn't have their starters on the field. And Appleton West quarterback Ryan Huffman threw a strike to E.J. Holt, junior to senior, and the 2-point conversion too. It's 44-14. The Evergreens in no danger tonight.
I almost think that the Everest student section's been waiting for that all night. Pulling the Wisconsin Badger student section. Oh.
The Forest, I think, is the most entertaining, most enthusiastic student section that I see in all of the high school sports that I do. They're dressed in neon today. It's a neon trees night. They'll have Hawaiian night later on and team jersey night later on too. Only got 4 home games. You got to make the most of all the fun that's to be had. Again, I think, and I'm a little biased, I mean, I see all of these games. Onside kick, the hands team recovers. Preston Miller. 3 touchdowns, and now the onside kick recovery. Yeah, I think the student section here at Everest and just the Friday night environment overall is just a lot of fun, even when the team hasn't been all that good. This team looks like they have more wins in front of them, which will make the rest of the season even more enjoyable.
Yeah, and you got to give them props from last night, too. They were energetic for the volleyball team. They've been energetic here for the football team going into holiday week.
And you know what it is with having a good student body that's all enthusiastic? Handoff, fumble. See who's got this. We're going to unpile and waiting for an indication. It's Appleton West ball. How about we take our final break on the turnover here before Appleton West gets it? They've got the ball back. Evergreens 44-14 after these messages.
Stone Innovations, home of Wisconsin's largest granite and quartz selection, is now featuring the best stones shopping experience in the state. Our brand new indoor facility allows for a home-like, comfortable atmosphere. Choose from hand-picked stone from around the world and select the perfect look for your dream kitchen in the best lighting possible. Then sit down with our free design services to customize the look of your kitchen. Our projects come with a lifetime warranty. Stone Innovations, Wisconsin's granite and quartz leader. Appleton, Rhinelander, Clover, Madison.
Back to live action after the Evergreens fumble and turn over the ball. Pass is complete underneath for an 8-yard gain. Just 7 minutes left. Again, by rule in the fourth quarter, even though we are under a 35-point deficit, in the fourth quarter, once the clock goes to running time, it does not stop. There's a hold, obvious. Pass here is complete. All of this will be wiped out. Penalty, number 12.
And the only thing that the clock stops for is timeouts, penalties, and injuries.
Right, or scores. After, if someone should score a touchdown, we stop while the ball is put on the tee. So this fourth quarter is going to go super fast. Going to walk off the penalty yardage. It'll put Appleton West back behind the sticks. Just before the Evergreens gave up the ball, You know, it takes like a core group of seniors, and I'm not even talking about athletes, a core group of seniors who decide that we want senior year to be fun. We're going to go to as many school events as possible. That, you know, all the dances, all the sporting events, all of that. And then you have a great student section. This is intercepted. It's a 5th turnover for Appleton West. Blake Postler comes up with the interception. Gives the ball right back to the Evergreens. Appleton West may not see the ball again. Another chance to possess and get a little more rep for Reese Stoll. Think of everything. The Evergreens just wish Stoll was a little bit taller. He's 5'10". You know, what's the prototype quarterback? 6'1", 6'2", thereabouts. He's only a junior, so, I mean, he's going to get a little bit bigger. What they like about Reese is that Reese is kind of a seam running type quarterback as well. Tried to get the seam here and didn't get it. More flags come down.
Illegal formation.
Play went for no gain, but Appleton West is going to take the penalty.
That's an interesting take of a penalty.
Actually, they're not taking this. Yeah, at this point, Appleton West, I think, kind of wants to get these final 4 minutes off the clock. And they'll need to regroup. 2 blowout losses in a row. This Appleton West team, they opened the season with a win over Manitowoc Lincoln. That's a team that's going to be below 500 this year. Appleton East, rivalry team, blown out in week 2. And this one's not going to look any better in week 3. We're stopping the clock on the far sideline for an injury? No, a timeout. Appleton West is taking a timeout. Why don't we take our final commercial break? We're late in the 4th quarter. DC Everest 44, Appleton West 14. You're listening to high school football on Zaleski Sports.
There's definitely family pride in this. I mean, just thinking back that this business has been built since the late 1800s. My great-great-grandfather, you know, my great-grandfather, my grandfather, and my father all working toward the same goal. You know, there's definitely a lot of pride in that, and you want to make sure that you make the family proud.
So, Chris, one of the things that we talked about at the pregame was about short-term memory.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that Everest has done a great job of a short-term memory and coming out here, even though that the team is not to the same power as them, but showing what they can do.
Right. This is an easier opponent tonight, no question about that. But turning the page from a really disappointing week 2 loss, yeah, there are a lot of positive things that are happening here. Appleton West is taking another timeout. I mean, all this tells me is that the Terror would like the ball back at least one more time.
And maybe this is to give some of their underclassmen on the offensive side the opportunity to possess and show what they can do as well, just as what Everest has been doing the second half.
Yeah, this game was decided at halftime. It's 42-6 at intermission. Evergreen's only scoring in the second half was a safety, getting them from 42 to 44. And a long touchdown pass. Again, Appleton West starters against our second string to get their second touchdown. The earlier West touchdown in the first half was a 95-yard kickoff return. So yeah, a really positive week 3 for the Everest football team. Marshfield is going to be a tougher opponent than Appleton West in week 4. And you have the challenge of playing on the road, too. Evergreens are going to punt on 4th down. Only the second time the Evergreens have punted. This is the bouncing kick that gets past the return man and will roll down to the 16-yard line. That's a 58-yard punt. It was in the air for half that. And then watch it roll.
You know, I'm all for players hustling and making a play. But there's smart times to do it and not so smart. And as we saw at the end of the play there, the Appleton West kid coming in there a little bit too heavy. I mean, the game, it wasn't like it was a game changer.
No, I agree with you. Look, I get that everyone's hyped up on game night, and sometimes it's hard to let that go, even when you're on the wrong end of a lopsided score. But one of the things in football, you got to recognize situation. And the situation here is you don't want to be hurting other people. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to hurt anybody else either.
Correct.
And to illustrate the point, do you not remember that with 1 second left in the game, we had an injury stoppage against Chippewa Falls last week? A game where, you know, you're down by 14, the game's over, you're not going to win, and one of the Chi-Hi players was hurt on the second to last play of the game. Hate to see that. West is still trying to run some of their offense. Running back here breaks 3. Again, this is against the Everest second string. This is going to go for a touchdown. That's Ben Valevsky. He had the kickoff return for a touchdown in the first half, and here he's got an 82-yard touchdown run. Again, this makes the score look a little bit closer, but don't be deceived. The Evergreens are blowout winners today. The Evergreens' second string defense has given up 2 touchdowns here in the fourth quarter. So, I mean, that's the perspective that you need in what's going on here. That is an 82-yard touchdown run for Valevsky. And they're going for 2, which will determine the final score. Quarterback looks to run, throws over the top, it's caught. So, I mean, the Evergreens have still doubled things up. It's 44-22 now. Appleton West unlikely to get the ball back here.
Well, they do have that one timeout. You never know what they're going to do.
Please don't.
I mean, give the credit to the head coach for giving his kids the opportunity one more time to get out there and make a play. You don't know if that's going to be that only ball carry or the only carry for that ball player for the rest of the year.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't bother me that Appleton West wants to prolong things a little bit to run some more plays, more reps for the offense. You know, that's simply their prerogative. That's the way football is. So the final score is going to be a little bit deceiving tonight at 44-22. I mean, make no mistake about it, this game was a blowout. Yeah, I mean, the more accurate indicator was what happened in the first half, where it was number ones against number ones, and the Evergreens had a 42-6 halftime lead, and the only points allowed were by the special teams. That's the way this game really looked. And Appleton West, you know, give them credit, still working hard right to the final gun. Got it, that's good. This is a pooch kick, which the Evergreens have covered. Not sure how I feel about the onside kicks or the pooch kicks here, just because those are plays that lend themselves to injury, and we'd like to get everybody, you know, off the field on their own 2 feet under their own power.
The good part is that got the clock started.
90 seconds left in week number 3. Evergreens will go to 2-1, and the Terrors will go to 1-2.
You know, the thing that the Everest coaching staff has to like is that they can see, like, when they allow those big plays, the ability of what they can work on in this upcoming week's practice.
Evergreen still going here. That may have been a late hit out of bounds. I think we're still just going to keep the clock going. And yes, a penalty flag trails this play. Terrence Banks, Jr., carried for the Evergreens. And I think it's the white hat trailing the play, who didn't like that as a late hit out of bounds. Yep. The only thing that's a little funny about this, and again, you don't want it chippy late in the game, the side judge who is closest to that kept his flag in his pocket. And it's the white hat, the referee, who threw that flag. He's 20 yards away, but he saw it just like we did. That was indeed a late hit out of bounds.
And they may not get another playoff.
Yeah, this may do it. We'll give you a quick recap of today's game, then down to the field.
Nope. Coach said no. Let it go.
And that's going to do it. The candle is out. Final score is 44-22. Evergreens took a 14-0 lead in the first quarter. They stopped Appleton West on 2 fourth-down tries and scored on 2 short field touchdowns. 4-yard touchdown run by Blake Bankston and a 4-yard touchdown pass, Bobinski to Preston Miller, the first of his 3 touchdowns. 14-0 Everest. 21-0 on a 66-yard pass, Everest's longest play from scrimmage, Bobinski to Clay Holman, 21-0. On the very next touch, Appleton West would get on the scoreboard, a 95-yard touchdown run from Ben Valesky. Took the kickoff and went back 95 yards, 21-6. Blake Bankston had a touchdown run. Preston Miller had a 17-yard touchdown catch and another 30-yard touchdown catch. The Evergreens scored 3 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes of the second quarter, 42-6 at halftime. Brett Gast with a safety for the Evergreens. They're only scoring in the second half. Came in the third quarter, 44-6. Appleton West added a touchdown pass and a touchdown run in the fourth quarter. Got 2-point conversions on each while they were playing against the Everest second-string defense. Makes the final score 44-22. Tony, great to have you on the broadcast today. It does feel like a turn-the-page kind of game and a step forward, a positive win for the Evergreens against an opponent that's simply not as good as them.
Correct. And again, bouncing back from last week's loss, it's a big turning point. And it's big for them. Home opener in front of their fans, first week of school, something positive going into a conference opponent that they may have some trouble with.
Next week will be a little more difficult on the road against rival Marshfield. That game will be on Zaleski Sports 2. Friday night coverage at 7 o'clock with Gene Delicio and his Zaleski Sports crew on the mic. We'll go down to the field next, speak with a couple of players. Think we're going to be looking for Preston Miller, who's got the 3 touchdown catches. And we'll speak with DC Everest coach Tim Strelo. Post-game coverage is brought to you by Nasonville Dairy. The Nasonville Dairy post-game show brought to you by Nasonville Dairy. Fresh cheese curds made daily. Get your cheese curds with Nasonville Dairy. Curtis, Marshfield, online at nasonvilledairy.com. Thanks for joining us for Zaleski Sports play-by-play coverage. Repeating our final score, DC Everest 44, Appleton West 22. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Evergreens in Marshfield next Friday. Chris Conley for all of our Zaleski Sports crew. Good night, everybody. On the Field post-game coverage continues next.
Nasonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Nasonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on US Highway 10, nasonvilledairy.com. All right, so we're here with Kim Hyman. Kim, Nasonville Dairy, 125 years in the making. Tell us about that.
You know, it's fantastic. It was the first plant built in Wood County back in 1885. Sal Nason and his family came here, and they started a small dairy plant. Eventually that plant burnt down, but then they rebuilt onto this same facility, and our family moved here in the late 60s in 1968 and took it over from there, and it's been just a fantastic growth. Great community, great people we have working for us. Oh, it's an open market. It's huge. You know, the opportunity for the diversity in the cheese industry is fantastic, and you have to be that way in order to sell a lot of product. And so we've got a great group of people working on the research and development side for us. So it's been really fortunate for us. Oh, right. We have 185 farm families that market their milk through us here at Nasonville Dairy. And we are so lucky we have like the best dairy farms in not only in central Wisconsin, but in the United States, marketing milk through us. So we're just really fortunate on that side.
Actually, we started in 1968. Our father brought us here from another cheese plant in Wisconsin. We had come from the cheese business. We've always been in the business. We had moved around the state in different parts. He brought us here about that time. The plant ran 7,500 pounds of milk at that time, and now runs about 1.5 million a day. So. We originally started out with making cheddar, and now we make cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmers Cheese, Pizza Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Friar, Seco, Parma, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Caflateri, Cafla Graviera, as well as making some Gouda Edam and a little bit of Munster on occasion.
When we're ready. Welcome back to Stephen Hagen Field. I'm Chris Conley. We wrap up our Week 3 high school football coverage. The Evergreens 44-22 winners over Appleton West. And the happy guy to my right is Coach Tim Strelo. Coach, last week the game turned on a mental mistake, and you said to the team last week, we got to turn the page quickly from this. They really did. They passed a test tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. After the game was over, I challenged the guys immediately to say, you know, we hit adversity. You know, we stumbled, we didn't win the game, we didn't do what we wanted, and how are you going to respond? Talked all week about responding positively, working harder, getting it done in practice, and I really feel like this game was won in practice. The guys responded really well with great attitudes all week in practice, and I think it showed. 6 touchdowns in the first half, but you know what? In some ways, it was a defensive game because the defense just didn't give the Terrors offense anything to work with. Yeah, Coach Kleinschmidt, Coach Kuhnen, Coach Bohm, Coach Beyer, they did a nice job. They came up with a really nice game plan against their offense, and you know, I was really proud of those kids and how hard they played.
Coach, congratulations. Enjoy the win. It's a step up next week on the road, Marshfield. That's a little bit of a different challenge against a rival. What do you have to do between now and then?
Again, I told the guys, I challenged them now is to have another week of great practice. Get over this game as quick as possible and get focused on Marshfield. They always play us tough, and we're going to have to be ready for a battle.
Have a good 3-day weekend. Congratulations, Coach. Preston Miller, wide receiver, had 3 touchdown catches today. The first one, your quarterback threw across his body, and we're saying in the press box, no, you don't throw that way, and he did, and found you in the back of the end zone.
Yeah, he's been doing a really good job this year, and we knew from last week we had to get better. Jack's a great quarterback. He made a great throw, and he does a great job at seeing the field.
And the 2 other touchdown the catches were actually nice catches. One-on-one coverage where it looked like both times you beat your defensive back.
Yeah, that's my job. I mean, as a 6'4" receiver, I just know I got to go up and get it and be aggressive. And yeah, Jack put it there, and I caught it, and yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, you're a taller kid, but it looks like you fight for the ball too. Being tall is not enough. You got to be a ball hawk.
Right. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Yeah, I've done it my whole life, and Jack and I have a good connection going, and we're just hoping to keep carrying that through the rest of the season.
Talk a little bit about Jack Babinski, who got some playing experience as a junior last year. Jack seems like an emotional guy that not only is he leading the team in the huddle, but who's pumping his fist, who's yelling at guys, who's celebrating after touchdowns. That's the kind of quarterback you've got this year.
Yeah, he's a great quarterback, great leader. Obviously one of our captains, and we take pride in having him as our quarterback. He came in last year actually against Appleton West after being hurt, or after our starting quarterback, Bosfolk, got hurt. And he came in, he adjusted really well, had a good rest of the season, and we were excited to have him this year. And, yeah, he's showing out.
Preston Miller, congratulations on your 3 touchdown catches tonight. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. The line is, because they're going to put it together, is your name and I'm in the house. Look up there and say it for me.
I'm Preston Miller, and I'm in the house.
Great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Here, you dropped your pen.